All right, folks, welcome back to the Crisis Report. It is October 6th, 2025. This one is entitled A Time for Satan. So, a lot of evil stuff going on all around us. I don't think I have to tell you about all that. We got a bunch of things to talk about. A lot of things on Venezuela, a lot of things on what's going on in the cities of Chicago and stuff. The Hamas thing is breaking down. We called that here. Basically, dollar financials, everything's screwed up. They want to take the German pension system and make it so you're 73 when you can retire. I don't think that's going to work out too well. So we're going to talk about all that tonight on the Crisis Report. Pretty strong report. So we're just going to get straight into it. Hit the like button and do all that subscribe stuff if you can. If you're, just make sure you know that you're getting the notifications. We're brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. They're a precious metals company that takes your IRA 401k, puts it into physical gold and silver. They hold on to it. And then when you retire, you get it from them. There's a link in the description if you'd like to set up an informational and check it out. It's no obligation. They just tell you what it's all about, and then from there you proceed or you don't. All right. Other than that, friends, it's getting frosty out there. So let's go. Let's do it. Let's do some crisis report. All right. A time for Satan. Venezuela has put its U.S. embassy under heightened scrutiny or security. It's warning, and extremists may be planning a false flag operation, they're saying, by involving explosives. I think Mr. Maduro is a little bit paranoid. Chicago police are warning Antifa that deadly force will be used if officers are attacked. I mean, would you expect nothing less? If you attack a person that has a weapon and is supposed to keep the peace, they're going to probably fire back at you. Classified Justice Department opinion authorizes strikes on a secret list of cartels. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer has pulled his subpoena for James Comey, his deposition in the House Republican probe of the files. Gold has officially surged past $4,000 per ounce for the first time in history. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. U.S. Commission on Civil Rights opens sweeping investigations into federal crackdown on anti-Semitism, requesting all Title VI communications on anti-Semitic conduct or conduct based on shared ancestry between schools and federal agencies. Commission will focus on Trump's dismantling of the Office of Civil Rights and directing the DOJ's Civil Rights Division to prioritize gun rights and anti-trans ideologies alongside anti-Semitism rather than solely on anti-Semitism. So, Trump on Hamas deal says if certain things are not met, we're not going to do it, but I think we're going to do very well. And I think Hamas has been agreeing to things that are very important. Yeah, no. Trump says he'll speak to the DOJ about pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. Vyacheslav Leonidov, the 87-year-old head of the Pravda publishing house, died after falling 70 feet from his Moscow apartment window. It's, I think, number 8 or 9 on the list of causes of death in Moscow is the falling from a window. Heavy clashes ongoing between Kurdish fighters. There's a lot of stuff going on in Syria, folks. So I put it into this report right here. There's a lot of stuff going on with Syria. And this is bad for the region. So this is what's going on. But don't think that things are okay there. They're bad. And you can see that government and everything just collapse again very soon. Heavy clashes ongoing between Kurdish fighters, Syrian security forces in Sheikh Maksud. This is the area where it is. Additional local reports stating that both the Kurds and government forces are mobilizing on the front lines. Syrian security forces reinforcing their lines in Aleppo. Interesting how the clashes broke out within a week after Trump met with Erdogan. Internet has been suspended in Sheikh Maksud enclave. Heavy clashes continue in Sheikh Maksud. SDF blames the Syrian government forces starting the clashes in Sheikh Maksud, but denies it is involved in the clashes, and street battles are continuing around the Sheikh Maksud enclave. It's bad. Trump says he has made a decision regarding sending Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. We don't know what it is, but he said he has a decision. That's good. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson issued an executive order prohibiting ICE from using any city-owned property. Trump says to meet Lula, both in Brazil and on the United States. Indian lawyer has thrown a shoe at the country's Chief Justice B.R. Gavay after apparently being angered by remarks the judge made about Hinduism. So, chucking shoes is a big thing over in Asia. CDC has advised that toddlers should not receive the chickenpox and MMR gibbities at the same time. And it has withdrawn its recommendation for all adults to get the Rona boosters. Oh, I was looking forward to it. Greta Thunberg lands in Greece amongst Gaza flotilla activists deported from Israel. Trump says U.S. 25% tariffs on heavy trucks start November 1st. That'll put some fun into it. Benjamin Netanyahu has once again strongly implied that Israel will not withdraw from Gaza and will not end the war, stating that he has the backing of President Trump, despite Trump's statements that they are going to exit Gaza. In a late-night order, Judge Emmergut, Trump appointee, has blocked Trump from deploying National Guard from any state or D.C. into Oregon. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro says the U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean is aimed at Venezuela's oil, gas, gold reserves, which are amongst the largest in the world. He accuses Washington of creating Hollywood stories about narco-trafficking in a pretext to justify U.S. intervention and then take over Venezuela's huge natural resources. U.S. dollar has now lost 10% of its value this year, according to FT. Putin and Israel's Netanyahu just held a phone call 2 days after Putin said Israel that they'd turned Gaza into a children's cemetery, discussed Trump's Gaza plan, and talked stabilizing Syria and negotiated solution to Iran's nuclear program. Israel's foreign ministry has allocated $145 million for propaganda on Americans to support Israel, according to Ynet. Israel's foreign ministry has allocated 545 million shekels for 2025 under Project 545, aimed at strengthening pro-Israeli messaging through AI systems, U.S. social media platforms, according to Israeli outlet Ynet. Program includes $6 million contract with Clock Tower X LLC, a firm run by Brad Pascal, Donald Trump's 2016 campaign manager and 2020 senior advisor, to run digital influence campaigns primarily targeting Gen Z audiences on TikTok, YouTube, and Insta. According to newly filed FARA documents, company's strategy includes efforts to game algorithms, influence AI systems like ChatGPT, Google Gemini by saturating data sources with pro-Israeli content, aiming to shape outputs and online narratives in Israel's favor. It goes on from there, but you get the point. Germany's pension and social security system is on the verge of collapse. Germany has proposed raising the retirement age to 73. What the heck is that? Prevent the collapse of the pension system. So basically, it's going to collapse. Chancellor Merz said that Germany can't afford the current social security system and that people will need to pay more for their income. Germany is screwed. Make no mistake. That's the kind of thing that can take down a global financial system. Sovereign nations' entire pension system coming to a crashing halt. Katie bar the door. That's a problem. Police fired tear gas, arrested several people during ongoing anti-government protests over rising economic crisis and unemployment in Madagascar. Beginning November 1st, 2025, all medium and heavy-duty trucks coming to the United States from other countries will be tariffed at a rate of 25%. Viktor Orban says Hungary should not join the Eurozone, warning that the EU is falling apart and that adopting the Euro would tie Hungary's fate to a sinking ship. He argues the bloc needs a radical transformation within 2 years, or it will become a fleeting chapter in history. Netanyahu says Iran is developing intercontinental ballistic missiles for 8,000-kilometer range. Out at another 3,000 kilometers, and they've got New York City, Washington, Boston, Miami, even Mar-a-Lago, and under their atomic guns. He had a really cool picture, too, of a bomb, and he colored it up to the top. Oh, wait, I think he did that 15 years ago. USS Gerald R. Ford Carrier Group, Strike Group, is now operating within the Western Mediterranean Sea alongside an Italian Faune di Revel class patrol vessel. Political crisis in France is worsened as Sébastien Lecornu becomes France's prime minister with the shortest mandate. Sébastien Lecornu resigned after spending 27 days in office as prime minister following the toppling of the Bayrou cabinet. Lecornu decided to resign after he made public the makeup of the new government which maintained 13 of the 18 ministers of the Bayrou cabinet. French left-wing and right-wing oppositions, upon seeing the composition, said they will file a motion of no confidence and topple the new government. Rather than wait for that to happen, Lecornu left. Jewish Algerian politician Eric Zemmour said following Lecornu's resignation that France needs early presidential elections. You need a heck of a lot more than that, bud. It's bad there. Trump announced at the beginning, November 1st, 2025, medium-duty, heavy-duty trucks going to have a 25% tariff. 61% opposed Trump's deploying active duty military in the U.S. cities, and 58% opposed deploying the National Guard. When you get 3 in 5 Americans agreeing on anything, you know it's a political loser, and about 2/3 of independents oppose the deployment of either active duty military or National Guard into U.S. cities. South Carolina judge Diane Goodstein's home caught fire and burnt to the ground. The fire began while Diane Goodstein's husband and children were inside. They resorted to jumping out the first-story windows to escape the flames. Goodstein is a liberal judge, clashed with the Trump administration in the past. Prosecutors are investigating this incident as arson. J.B. Pritzker called U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to deploy elements of the National Guard of Texas to Illinois an invasion. In one of the tweets, Pritzker also referred to Illinois as a sovereign state. At the end, Pritzker called on National Guardsmen to disobey the orders of federal authorities. That is going to get bad there, folks. It's not going to get good. Kristi Noem reveals the dark truth about the ICE attacks, getting worse day by day, as intelligence indicates that these people are organized. They're getting more and more people on their team as far as attacking officers, and they're making plans to ambush them and kill them. We have specific officers and agents that have bounties that have been put out on their heads. It's about $2,000 to kidnap them and $10,000 to take them out. Trump or someone in Trump's government has appeared to be deliberately manufacturing a state of tension. Left-wing agitators are assembling to protest at detention facility. It's a negative feedback loop is occurring from there. And they're wondering if Trump is doing this to kind of pull the Band-Aid off and take the tension now. If this is a calculated strategy to climb up the escalation ladder and force an intense confrontation between law and the left, one which leads to a collapse of the left, then that is a very interesting scenario. The fear is the Trump administration lacks the will to follow through to do what is necessary to win true confrontation with the left. If that is the case, then they all are going to be antagonizing the left and creating a tension which will just explode rather than lead to a pretext for a right-wing power grab. In which case, I agree with Curtis Yarvin that the Trump administration is doing nothing other than inciting the left to destroy us when they return power. When I say Portland is an open rebellion against the federal government, this is what I mean. Federal authorities have to board up the federal building because the Portland police wouldn't protect it. Instead of helping, the city of Portland issued the feds a zoning violation. So you tell me. Chicago Police Chief Superintendent Larry Snelling broke ranks with Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, stating that he and his men will not arrest, impede, or hinder federal agents operating inside the city's administrative territory. We don't have to agree with it. It doesn't matter. We do not interfere with federal agents' orders. CPD will not arrest and cannot arrest federal agents because someone deems what they're doing is illegal. Governors of Texas and California have contradicted each other on when and how the National Guard can be used by federal government. States' rights, sovereignty, independence are in the fold. We are watching various units of institutional authority delegitimize in real time. The power and authority is becoming harder and harder to quantify. Groups and leaders just start making their own rules. Similar to Soviet-style fallout, that's what you're seeing, state just becomes weak. Illinois declared itself a sovereign state. Chicago's mayor called the situation a civil war. Blocks of states continue to form over states' rights. Trump is agitating everyone without following through. Judges are being violently targeted. There's a nullification crisis every day. Germany has proposed raising the retirement age to 73 to prevent the collapse of the pension system. Scientific Advisory Board under the German Ministry of Economy stated that there is almost no time left for reforms. According to experts, Germany's economy has been stagnating for years. Demographic situation continues to worsen. Proposal sparked outrage in Berlin. Just recently, Economy Minister Katharina Reich suggested raising the retirement age to 70, and even that faced heavy criticism. Average life expectancy of Germany in 2023 is about 81.2 years. Good luck with that one. White House negotiations for a deal based on the Trump plan for Hamas. Ongoing talks regarding ending the war in Gaza are technical in nature. Wyckoff and Kushner will take part. Parties agree on Trump's plan and agree to end the war in Gaza. Want to act very quickly. Gaza agreement will be one of the greatest peace agreements the world has ever known, he said. Achieve this goal. Trump believes peace can be achieved in Gaza, therefore presented his detailed plan. First step to achieving peace is a ceasefire and the release of hostages in Gaza. Israel is cooperating excellently regarding the Gaza plan. Trump told U.S. Special Envoy Grinnell and cease all diplomatic efforts with Nicolas Maduro and any outreach to the Chavista regime. During a meeting with military personnel, Trump called Grinnell last Thursday and told him to completely suspend the effort. Meanwhile, Iran is building their nuclear sites and telling Western countries that there will be no more negotiations. Therefore, Trump is threatening to bomb them again, but Israel may beat him to it. Just have to see. Viral new app called Text with Jesus is being hailed as the future of faith. But what's hiding beneath the surface is deeply unsettling. Powered by ChatGPT and created by a man who admits he's, quote, not particularly religious, end quote, app lets users message AI version of Jesus, Moses, and Mary, but for a fee. It unlocks direct chats with Satan. AI version of Satan is described as loving and understanding, turning darkness into something deceptively comforting. Critics call it a blasphemy disguised as innovation, and they're not wrong. Meanwhile, the popular app Pray.com has already partnered with Palantir whose co-founder recently hosted a private conference on the Antichrist. That's where we are, folks. So, a time for Satan. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. If you're into turning your gold, silver, turn your 401k and IRA to gold and silver, company's link is in the description with a learn thing. Check it out. Other than that, folks, hit that button. Consider becoming a member. Appreciate you. We're trying to put stuff out on multiple platforms, and we're going to do our best. God bless you all. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow on the next one.